1 Corinthians 12, God gives the most profound giftings in people and places we least expect. This is 1 Corinthians 12. In those members of the body we think to be less honorable, on these we bestow greater honor. And on our unpresentable parts have greater modesty, but our presentable parts have no need. But God composed the body, having given greater honor to that part which lacks it, that there should be no schism in the body, but that the members should have the same care one for another. Did you know that the most profoundly gifted people are the people that we wouldn't think are profoundly gifted? Worldliness has cursed the church because the world says, if you're going to be a minister and if you're going to change lives, you need to look like this, and you need to be dynamic, and you need to be charismatic, and you do this. Did you know that the average person has the most profound giftings in the body? Because God overlooks nobody. And he wants us to respect each other and not to judge each other based on appearance or status or something like that. I'm saying this to some of you. Some of you maybe look at yourselves as being simple or ordinary. Can I tell you something? The church is built upon simple people who love Jesus. Thank God. Whatever you do for a living, if God has gifted you in the body, you are needed in the body. And some of you that think of yourselves in very ordinary ways, you have a profound, everyone's gifted by God. Everyone in the church is gifted by God. So don't look at somebody else's gift. I'm saying you're profoundly gifted. Another thing, the greater the size, level, and responsibility or influence, the greater the stress. We want to be president. We want to have great ministry. We want to have a great business. We want to be a billionaire. But sometimes what you don't understand is the people that are there are very stressed out. It has a tremendous burden that comes with it. Here's another one, another problem or consideration. Many times we're all feeling insecure at the same time and are coveting different things about each other. 5 people in a room, one person wishes they had somebody else's marriage. Another person wishes they had somebody else's skin. Another person wishes they had their house, another their ministry, another their friends. We're all insecure in some areas. And we all compare in different areas. But many times a group of people, everybody's comparing at the same time. This is one thing that I think of a lot. Everybody has pain. Everybody has pain. Many times we compare and we one-dimensionalize people and objectify them. And we don't understand that everybody has pain. I had a friend that I knew in Amarillo, and I worked out with him for years. We worked out at the same place, and we lockered next to each other. He was about 20 years older than me. And we just kind of developed a friendship. I didn't know that he was filthy rich. He just owned, just half the panhandle. And many years later, being a preacher, I'd ask him for money if I knew that, but not really. I didn't know him, but we just developed a great friendship, and he liked me, and so every now and then he would invite me to go out to eat lunch. And so we would go out to eat lunch, and so one time we ate lunch, and at the end of lunch, I said to him, what do you have going on this week? Again, very wealthy guy, very successful guy. He said, I'm going to find my daughter. And I said, where's your daughter? He said, well, she's on the street somewhere. He was 80 years old. We were having this lunch. He was 80 years old. And I said, why would she be on the streets? He said, she has schizophrenia. He said, Jimmy, you need to be praying for my wife and me. At 80 years old, we're raising our 13-year-old grandson, and we're about to die. He said, we just can't do it. And he said, but I'll go to Seattle, I'll go to Los Angeles, I'll go to New York City, I'll go to Chicago. And he said, eventually I'll find her somewhere on the streets. It's easy to drive by somebody's house or look at someone and just to think, I wish I looked like them, I wish I had their house or whatever, but you have to take their pain. Everybody has pain. Peter is an example. You want to be the preeminent apostle? Great. So you're going to be crucified upside down? You can't just take the blessing. You have to take everything that comes with it. Causes of comparison. The first is lack of acceptance in who God made me to be. Matthew 22 says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. You have to love yourself in order to love other people. You say, well, why should I love myself? Because God made you. You're not an accident. You are the creation of God, and you are a miracle. You're created in the image of God. You are. Another is lack of security and identity in God. It's seeking security through people or through society or through status. Jeremiah 17. Thus saith the Lord, cursed is the man who trusts in man and makes flesh his strength, whose heart departs from the Lord. He shall be like a shrub in the desert, and shall not see good when it comes, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land which is not inhabited. Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord, and whose hope is in the Lord. He shall be like a tree planted by waters, which spreads out its roots by its river, and will not fear when heat comes, but its leaf will be green, and will not be anxious in a year of drought, nor cease to yield fruit. We need to be people that we are rooted in God, and that our self-concept, our sense of self-identity and self-esteem, it comes from who we are in God and not who other people say that we are. Lack of identity. Another is greed. It means excessive desire. Wanting more than I need and more than God has for me. I need to be content with what God has for me in life and not be greedy for more. Another reason for comparison is the wrong concept of God. Interpreting his supposed greater blessings on other people means he loves them more. He loves all of us the same. He loved Peter and John the same. John, by the way, died of loneliness, basically. He died of old age, exiled on the island of Patmos. He's the only disciple that we know of that was not martyred, okay? So you say, would you rather be crucified at 65 years old or to die lonely on an island? It's a toss-up. It's a toss-up. Everybody has pain. Everybody has pain. God loves all of us the same. Don't ever look at somebody else's body. Don't ever look at somebody else's blessings and think that God loves them more. God loves you just as much as he loves them. And God has a great plan for your life. Another reason for comparison is a lack of love for others. Agape versus phileo. You say, well, why would Peter want to know that John was going to suffer like him? Pettiness and lack of love. If you really love someone, you want something good for them. If you don't love them, you resent them when something good happens to them. Another is covetousness. Covetousness means to desire wrongfully, inordinately, or without due regard for the right of others. In other words, it's a boundary violation. Jealousy and envy is another one. Jealousy means feeling resentment against someone because of that person's rivalry, success, or advantages. Envy, a feeling of discontent or covetousness with regard to another's advantages, success, or possessions. And here's a way to look at jealousy and envy. Jealousy is generally about people. Envy is about things. And when I look at relationships and I become jealous, or I look at what you own and I become jealous, that's one of the reasons that we compare.